A second.
Chairman and First Deputy Speaker and colleagues, I should join Chairman in welcoming you, particularly from our constituencies, to undertake the onerous task of subjecting President Nana Addo Dankwa's nominee for offices of the Supreme Court of Ghana to the parliamentary vetting process. And to note, Chairman, the importance of foundational value of the supremacy of our constitution, the rule of law, for a constitutional state called Ghana. But Chairman, permit me to note that whilst we have a duty to assess and evaluate the suitability of the candidate, Madam Lordship, this is not directed at you. This is a matter of public interest. The Ghanaian public is concerned about the number of justices at the Supreme Court of Ghana, and probably an invitation to Parliament and to all of us to look at an opportunity whether it's not about time for us to have a ceiling so that presidents that succeed Nana Addo Dankwa tomorrow don't do as they please. And colleagues, permit me, because as I have said, if you take the fourth Republican period from President J. Kufuor to President Rawlings to President J. Kufuor through Atam Mills, we've seen significant numbers of appointments to the Supreme Court by the President in exercise of his constitutional powers under Article 144. But Chairman, to note that President Mills contributed about 21.4% to appointments to the Supreme Court, Excellency John Dramani Mahama 28.6%, Nana Addo Dankwa 78.6%, from 11 to 14 Supreme Court judges. Whether he's mindful of the public purse and whether he's mindful he's protecting the public purse with these numbers is a matter that we all should be looking at. Here alone, 11 of 14 justices of Supreme Court. It has not happened. And Chairman, as we've said, there are also concerns that we've seen some of the appointment coming from the High Court. Normally, traditionally, natural growth processes, when you are appointed to the bench, you grow and mature with time. You don't bypass others at the High Court who are seniors before you, bypass other persons who are appeal court justices before you, and you just run faster because of political favoritism. Or nominee, as I said, this is not directed at you, but we are concerned as a country, they're benefiting from some political favoritism to ride faster and above persons who ought to be there. So, Chairman, the judiciary sometimes even criticisms against them when they poorly deliver judgment and don't write them well. They say we shouldn't criticize them. It's part of political accountability for us to demand that things are done and done right. So throughout our history, Chairman, the number of Superior Court justices normally stay around 14, 15, not 19. So Nana Addo Dankwa, what is he doing to the Supreme Court? We want him to guarantee the independence and autonomy of the judiciary as a fearless arm of government that should deliver justice. But today, Madam Barbara, it is your turn. So Chairman, let me leave it here and welcome her. And then you subject it to those constitutional litmus tests. But these are concerns that the Ghanaian public have. And we have a duty to convey it so that as a country, we can take a decision going forward. How many justices of the Supreme Court do we have? I consider that the Constitution provides a lower threshold, but no ceiling in terms of the threshold. What we do as a country remains a question that I'm sure the Constitutional Review picked up. But we need a strong, fearless judiciary to hold government accountable, particularly excesses of judiciary, and to ensure that both Parliament and the Executive acts in accordance with law. So, Chairman, thank you for the opportunity for these opening remarks.
Thank you. I'll
discourage further discussion on.
Let me unmute myself first. Very, very interesting discussion or opening remarks by the minority leader, Haruna, or fantastic opening remarks from him yesterday. I really admired him on those remarks that he made, because we need people like this to be able to speak truth to power and to be able to challenge some of the decisions that get taken by the president. By the way, my name is Fifi Asante Mpare, and I say Kofi Asante Mpare. Me pacho oba video iswa bomodi na share mami. Ewie me baba di inkomo kitwe me nchekra. Ma chekra 45 minutes. Me pese ye di inkomo kitwe na ye move on. And share me title na my tro me say Miss Bag. It's a mixed bag of Ghana and some mixed bag of Ghana and some, because you have a touchy in some near when I be brave. I have a few drafted here. Me per se me share na ye can some of them that I think is very, very important. It's about time you speak about such things as well. So when you do come on, please share it for me. The video that I started playing, I think I'll play that video again, because there's a lot of information in that video that we need to pick up and then run with it and build something on that. So please don't forget to share it when you do come on board. Thank you. I'm going to play that video once again, and then let's try and pick the information being, or the questions being asked by Haruna, the minority leader, Haruna Idrisi, and then let's digest that and let's use that to build up our point this afternoon. Thank you.
Chairman and First Deputy Speaker and colleagues, I should join Chairman in welcoming you, particularly from our constituencies, to undertake the onerous task of subjecting President Nana Addo Dankwa's nominee for offices of the Supreme Court of Ghana to the parliamentary vetting process, and to note, Chairman, the importance of the foundational value of the supremacy of our constitution, the rule of law, for a constitutional state called Ghana. But Chairman, permit me to note that whilst we have a duty to assess and evaluate the suitability of the candidate, Madam Lordship, this is not directed at you. This is a matter of public interest. The Ghanaian public is concerned about the number of justices at the Supreme Court of Ghana, and probably an invitation to Parliament and to all of us to look at an opportunity, whether it's not about time for us to have a ceiling, so that presidents that succeed Nana Addo Dankwa tomorrow don't do as they please. And colleagues, permit me, because as I have said, if you take the fourth Republican period from President J. Kufuor to President Rawlings to President J. Kufuor through Atta Mills, we've seen significant numbers of appointments to the Supreme Court by the President in exercise of his constitutional powers under Article 144. But Chairman, to note that President Mills contributed about 21.4% to appointments to the Supreme Court, Excellency John Dramani Mahama 28.6%, Nana Addo Dankwa 78.6%, from 11 to 14 Supreme Court judges. whether he's mindful of the public purse and whether he's mindful he's protecting the public purse with these numbers is a matter that we all should be looking at. Here alone, 11 of 14 justices of Supreme Court. It has not happened. And Chairman, as we've said, there are also concerns that we've seen some of the appointment coming from the High Court. Normally, traditionally, natural growth processes, when you are appointed to the bench, you grow and mature with time. You don't bypass others at the High Court who are seniors before you, bypass other persons who are appeal court justices before you, and you just run faster because of political favoritism or nominee, as I said, is not directed at you. We are concerned as a country if it's some political favoritism, right faster and above persons who ought to be there. So, Chairman, the judiciary sometimes even criticisms against them when they poorly deliver judgment and don't write them well. They say we shouldn't criticize them. It's part of political accountability for us to demand that things are done and done right. So throughout our history, Chairman, the number of Superior Court justices normally stay around 14, 15, not 19. So Nana Aduduka, what is he doing to the Supreme Court? We want him to guarantee the independence and autonomy of the judiciary as a fearless arm of government that should deliver justice. But today, Madam Barbara, it is your turn. So Chairman, let me leave it here and welcome her. And then you subject to do constitutional litmus test. But these are concerns that the Ghanaian public have. And we have a duty to convey it so that as a country, we can take a decision going forward. How many justices of the Supreme Court do we have? I consider that the Constitution provides a lower threshold, but no ceiling in terms of the threshold. What we do as a country remains a question that I'm sure the Constitutional Review picked up. But we need a strong, fearless judiciary to hold government accountable, particularly excesses of judiciary, and to ensure that both Parliament and the Executive acts in accordance with law. So, Chairman, thank you for the opportunity for these opening remarks.
Thank you.
Okay. Mede ano ebeshi aha answer. Let me take that off the stream. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you, Fatima Ansa. I hope you well. Me pacho obaswa bomodia na share video mame me who say Amiya Deborah Jamina. Actually, you were on. Please, when you do come here as well, yeah, me favor, try and type out something, then I'll be able to tell say oha na metimi echiao amau echiao ye amau nchia stronko. So type out good morning, good afternoon, how are you? Once you type out something, your name will then appear, then I'll be able to actually extend a warm greetings to you this afternoon from Southwest London. Medini Ekofi Asante Mpare. I think that most of you who joins me a lot on my platform knows the name, but for the benefit of those joining at first time or those who play the video later who has never come across my video. Today my title is Misbagged, and the Misbagged me per se share in sensem ACC ewo Ghana nneema ni bi wo hono mo a ese ye fa na ye ka ho asem nti mesremu bebre mommodin a yen hwe na yen dive into the share the video because I want the video to go really far na yen nyina yen di nkomo o hwe video na me boy na first of all let me actually do one or two things here so I will be multitasking and speak whilst I do that. If you look at the video that I played, this was yesterday from Haruna Idrisu, Minority Leader. Dear Bentina me boss our video no. The entire me boss video ni say Yem President Nana Akufo-Addo impatro mombo mo de share video no mame. Wa nominating 4 judges be ebi fi High Court. ebi nso fi Court of Appeal and wa present yomo say opese those 4 judges no ye vet yomo na ye di yomo call our highest court of the land, which is the Supreme Court. Na odi yomo ka justices na ye wo honom no. Akufo-Addo bedi ade no na ye wo 11 justices ewo Supreme Court already. Ono ankasa ede 3 ababa beka ho initially, or signed and nominated another or signed nominated another 4. Na 4 na one nominate na yedi omo kono me ba bebubo mu din. Justice Barbara Francis Akayensu, ono ye oba owo mu a endra ye veti no enne omo veti Barbara endra Justice Barbara Francis Akayensu, Justice George Kingsley Kumsen, another one ono fi. First of all, me be memoranda ni bi na ma church baby omo fi. Justice Barbara Francis Akayensu efi Appeal Court. Ena yen president say opeso promote no anaso ordena basi yen vet no ordena ko Supreme Court. Justice George Kingsley Kumsen ensu Justice of the Appeal Court. Ena your president per se ononso ordena basi yen vet no na yen fanin ko Supreme Court. Justice Samuel Kwame Adibu Esiedu and then make us say onu yeguso tutona no vertino. I was listening to his verting. Very interesting man, very, very firm. And mefi ne verting I say I mean me video because this video have to be done. So later on I will listen to him how the verting went, but so far so good for him. Onunsu fi Justice Onunsu ye anaso fi the Justice of the Appeal Court and onunsu yen President Dena Basse onunsu yen fano yen vetino and the last one Justice and Yao Gawu Sebodini ya Justice Ernest Yao Gawu only the only person onufi High Court into onwa jump from High Court no one Court of Appeal omo mana jump straight to Supreme Court and on year to manwa ye vetiomo. Now during vetting we mu no me person me boss video na matie na ye nyina ya hwe na ye hu ade a ye president yi ye se eto asumu ana ye see within the justices that we have in the Supreme Court, there is a lower threshold. And I believe the lower threshold is 7. That is the lower threshold. Having said that, there is no higher threshold. Yenka say, ebia, sa Appeal Court 11 in cohort. Don't forget, say Appeal Court justices, we always have to have odd numbers sitting there because of sana omudi cases are imbalance, and we always need odd numbers there. Into either say 11, and I say 17, and I say 19. So this is here and Nana Akufo-Addo I say only there 2 or 2. And I said, nominate judges, say, Supreme Court. Inti me pese, ye tie video ni biem. Na, I feel that me pape mo, because according to Haruna Idris, Nana Akufo-Addo nkwano in his tenure, appointed 78.7% of the justices in Supreme Court. That is way too much. Way too much. 78.7% is way too much. Mbebo video ni bi ni yaye comparisons. Ni a share the number of justices are Atamis appointee. The number of justices are ex-president Mahama also appointed here, and then the current president. Let's make that comparisons and then pick up the pieces from there. So because of that, please permit me to play that video once again. Thank you.
Discourage further discussion.
Chairman and First Deputy Speaker and colleagues, I should join Chairman in welcoming you, particularly from our constituencies, to undertake the onerous task of subjecting President Nana Addo Dankwa's nominee for offices of the Supreme Court of Ghana to the parliamentary vetting process, and to note, Chairman, the importance of the foundational value of the supremacy of our constitution, the rule of law, for a constitutional state called Ghana. But Chairman, permit me to note that whilst we have a duty to assess and evaluate the suitability of the candidates, Madam Lordship, this is not directed at you. This is a matter of public interest. The Ghanaian public is concerned about the number of justices at the Supreme Court of Ghana, and probably an invitation to Parliament and to all of us to look at an opportunity whether it's not about time for us to have a ceiling, so that presidents that succeed Nana Addo Dankwa tomorrow don't do as they please. And colleagues, permit me, because as I have said, if you take the fourth Republican period from President J. Kufuor to President Rawlings to President J. Kufuor through Atta Mills, we've seen significant numbers of appointments to the Supreme Court by the President in exercise of his constitutional powers under Article 144. But Chairman, to note that President Mills contributed about 21.4% to appointments to the Supreme Court, Excellency John Dramani Mahama 28.6%, Nana Addo Dankwa 78.6%, from 11 to 14 Supreme Court judges. Whether he's mindful of the public purse and whether he's mindful he's protecting the public purse with these numbers is a matter that we all should be looking at. Here alone, 11 of 14 justices of Supreme Court. It has not happened. And Chairman, as we've said, there are also concerns that we've seen some of the appointment coming from the High Court. Normally, traditionally, natural growth processes, when you are appointed to the bench, you grow and mature with time. You don't bypass others at the High Court who are seniors before you, bypass other persons who are appeal court justices before you, and you just run faster because of political favoritism. Or nominee, as I said, this is not directed at you, but we are concerned as a country, we're benefiting from some political favoritism to ride faster and above persons who ought to be there. So, Chairman, the judiciary sometimes even criticisms against them when they poorly deliver judgment and don't write them well. They say we shouldn't criticize them. It's part of political accountability for us to demand that things are done and done right. So throughout our history, Chairman, the number of Superior Court justices normally stay around 14, 15, not 19. So Nana Addo Dankwa, what is he doing to the Supreme Court? We want him to guarantee the independence and autonomy of the judiciary as a fearless arm of government that should deliver justice. But today, Madam Barbara, it is your turn. So, Chairman, let me leave it here and welcome her. And then you subject it to those constitutional litmus tests. But these are concerns that the Ghanaian public have. And we have a duty to convey it so that as a country, we can take a decision going forward. How many justices of the Supreme Court do we have? I consider the Constitution provides a lower threshold, but no ceiling in terms of the threshold. What we do as a country remains a question that I'm sure the Constitutional Review picked up. But We need a strong, fearless judiciary to hold government accountable, particularly excesses of judiciary, and to ensure that both parliament and the executive acts in accordance with law. So, Chairman, thank you for the opportunity for these opening remarks.
Thank you. I'll discourage further discussion on the political excursions. We'll do that after here, but this is the leader, so I'll allow him space. Shall we swear in the nominee, please?
I, Barbara Frances Akayensu,
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Okay, I'm going to end this one here. Bear with me. I'm going to stop this for a sec. I'm going to end in here and then pick up the commentary from there. Okay, so as I was saying, these three justices or judges have been brought before the Parliamentary Vetting Commission to vet them and then go through the processes because they were nominated by the president to promote them. Three of them from our appeal court to the Supreme Court, and one of them from the High Court, who was actually jumped from High Court straight to Supreme Court. Why that will be an answer is only the president can give. And then we heard Haruna Idrisi there, who gave a fantastic opening remark, questioning why some of them are, or one particular judge is being jumped. He's been nominated right from the High Court to Supreme Court, and then also question the number of justices that current President Nana Addo is trying to put in the Supreme Court. Whether he's doing that to protect himself and his party in future, or whether he's doing that is going to also set as a precedent for people who then rule the country or succeeding after, whether it's NDC or NPP, to also just keep appointing because somebody could say, hey, Nana Addo did this, hence I can also do this. And then Haruna went in to give us a reference, our minority leader, Honorable Haruna Idrisi. He went further to give us in percentage of in the Fourth Republic, the four or the three consecutives precedents, the percentage of judges that they've contributed by appointing them to the High Court. And Professor Mills was 21.4%. And ex-president Mama was 28.6%. But Nana Addo appointees is gone from 28.6%, and Nana Addo is down 78.6% of judges. And then minority leader also went further and looked into the fact, said, out of the 14 justices that we have, 11 of them were appointed by our current president, Nana Addo. Out of the 14 justices. Now, what's an representing nation, another 4 judges, I'm a bomb dean, say, Yansan Vetium, and San Fan Omon Court, Supreme Court be. The question then becomes, why is Nana Addo beefing up the justices at Supreme Court? What did they have under their sleeves? That is why they are beefing up the justices at the Supreme Court. This lady, the Justice Akayensu, let me pronounce her full name. Justice Barbara Frances Akayenshi. She's worked throughout her life. She sat at the bench. She's gone through. I believe she might have started from circuit court, what have you, all the way into magistrate court, high court, appeal. Now she's at appeal court. She's only got 2.5 more years to retire. That is all she's got left. 2.5 more years to retire because now I hit the pension age. Yes, sir, you want to promote this woman to spend the next 2.5 years in Supreme Court. In Supreme Court. Me pacho mo ba so amu share video ne mami because me person video no e kwetire. It is worrying. This is a country going through crisis that we need to actually look at the way of cutting back some cost. We are rather beefing up the justices in Supreme Court. Me fa konya isu nchia madofo ne metie for maba video isu ewie mpacho baso abomodian type bibi na me hu na me ntimi nchia. Why? Because the number of people there, I can see 12 at the moment, and if we keep sharing as well, number no be increasing. And like the video. Good afternoon to you, Fatima Ansah. Good afternoon to you, Mary Louise. Good afternoon to you, Patrick Pipra. And good afternoon to you, Mandira Sheila Ama Joe Adamson. Thank you. I bless you for your support. Thank you, all of you, for your support. Mary, long time. I hope you well. Problema ya wo enye. Sisiano and Ra, just judges no 2 were vetted. Today, as I speak, third one is being is going through his vetting. Justice Barbara Frances Akayensu, Justice of the Appeal Court, Justice George Kingsley Constant, Justice of the Appeal Court, Justice Samuel Kwame Edibu Esiedu. He's being vetted today. I listened to or watched a bit of his vetting this morning. He's also a Justice of the Appeal Court, and Justice Ernest Yao Gau, who is a Justice of the High Court. So Yao Gau, who is a Justice of the High Court, is the one who is being jumped straight from High Court to Appeal Court. The man is flying a twin-turbo plane. We have upgraded him from possibly propeller plane. We have upgraded him straight away from propeller, not into even a twin turbo, straight to a jet engine, to ask him to fly our jumbos. Why? It's only the President Nana Akufo-Addo who can question this. Good afternoon to you, Hamidu Nunu. It's only Nana Akufo-Addo who can answer this, because Yantiasie, they are going through the vetting and watching the vetting happening or unfolding before my eyes. And I'm not criticizing any of our leaders who are within the committee, who have been asked to vet these people. They're asking the right questions. But I think, say, I say, they know themselves. Yes, some of them know they've known themselves from university. Some of them are lawyers. Some of them are judges, and lawyers and judges. They've met on different cases. But yes, Anna, the intensity of scrutinizing these people and pushing them against the wall for them to actually make mistakes, for you to see where they are vulnerable, they get away with it. Why won't share any of the vettings? I'll recommend you go back. I picked up all my vetting from Ghana Broadcasting. So go back to the Ghana Broadcasting website. and then, or their domain, and then watch all the vetting from yesterday. I believe it will be there. Pick their social media account and watch the vetting. Even Haruna Idrisu, the minority leader, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, who is pushing out the hard questions and pushing them against the wall, also, when you see the way why people vet their justices and even vet people, or the way they handle people who will be sent to the parliamentary committee over offenses or over questioning, the way these people will scrutinize them, you won't see one single smile on people's faces. Yes, good afternoon to you, Yakwe. I hope you well. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'll say hello, Daddy. I hope you well. Long time. Please share the video. Let's keep going. Share the video. There is no seriousness, Sheila, as you just said there. Absolutely no seriousness. Adena, you're vetting for your job. My brother say you're vetting. Vetting is not a joke. Is that where the panel vetting? Then some of them are saying, "Oh, we've met from university. I've sat on in your court. I've seen some of your cases, and can I actually say to you, you've done well, this and that." There's nobody is saying don't congratulate them for them being elected by the president, or they haven't been appointed yet, but elected by the president for them to go through the vetting. But vetting is not where you're going to pick up these people. Vetting is not where you're going to pick up them and then read their CVs and congratulate them on. Vetting is where you're going to scrutinize their judgments. You're going to scrutinize what is on the CV. You're going to scrutinize what they've done to bring about change. Because we all know, say, young judges, Ghana, our judges are one of the poorest judges. And why am I saying that? We've seen judges, we've seen cases, judges nibi a judge obia ebia sabe komo deno eninti komo adin inti wakone yonko afuom akotwa ebia bode ana a broke to ebi on ne mba bedi. We've seen cases like this, judges are judge for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. We've seen cases judges are jailing kola. We've seen cases judges Obiako, we have 5 cities, 10 cities, 20 cities. You're jailing of 5 years, 6 years. These cases are there. We've seen cases. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And we ask ourselves, what is the rule around, or what is the wisdom around some of these cases? So this is the time I may expect. He said, when they come and sit down, you scrutinize them with this. The only thing that keep popping up is the ADR. ADR. I've heard so many times about ADR is alternative dispute resolution, which in Ghana we do have alternative dispute resolution. So Judge Betima refer case Monfanko na Monkoka. Yes, it's great. Say in cases nibi or because of our culture, because we've come from a kind of semi or mini monarch systems where the monarch is used to judge cases at home and then come to resolution. We seems to be going down that line a lot. I'm not saying say alternative dispute resolution does not happen in the West. It does, but it's only minimal. It's only minimal. We have judges Omatna cases so in Ghana. Cases no enquire that. Only God knows why. Cases n'inquire that. Ye fre and a judge or ye fre ochna judge in your ye ochna judge or na chibium judge in your. And there is a simple way be yes, see, justice delayed is as good as justice denied. And delayed justice is a very common thing in Ghana. And majority of you here will vouch with me. Delayed justice is a common thing in Ghana. That is the reason why I would be court crana and crofon for monko because I say wouldn't be koi a cobra sa. Some of the cases, the last time James Daspera, we had a panel discussion and we were talking about some of these things. We had a lawyer on, I forgot her name, and she reckoned that some of these cases can take up to 10 years, 9 years. One case. Meanwhile, the constitution is there. There should be guidelines of these cases. You can dive into it. Look at the guidelines. Namundi cases, not cases in infio. There are catalog of cases. Away a quarter. Even sometimes the dockets are missing. The dockets are missing. The dockets are missing. So these are some of the things that we need to be looking at. Instead of just beefing up the justices in Supreme Court, we also after the last election, when the case went to Supreme Court, all of us saw what happened. We also, because don't forget, they tend to say that the law of all the court of the public opinion doesn't matter, but the court of the public opinions also matters because we are also human beings. We have brains. We might not have the constitution in front of us to try and interpret every single law, but we can see. When we see evil, we see. When we see good, we see. When we see good judgment, we see. When we see bad judgment, we see. When we see Supreme Court justices turning to defend the very person who is being brought before them to take a stand in the witness box for questions to be put to her, and then they prevent it. Oh, hey, serious. Ghana, your problem. Now, your Akufo-Addo has nominated another 4 justices to be vetted to beef up the Supreme Court. Why are these justices keep being nominated to beef up the Supreme Court? Asansebe, Momi Fanko, and then another thing I want to talk about this afternoon, very important. Say, we have a president. He can't put his emotion to check. And sometimes maybe some men will say, why? This morning, I've seen a post from the professor of applied economics from the United States, Professor Hinks. Say, Ghana, Ghana, inflation at the moment is measured at 101%. 101% Ghana inflation. We want the Statistics Service to come out and give us the current Ghanaian inflation. We don't want people like Richard Ahiagba to come and use their corner or their social media, as I'm using mine, to tell the Ghanaian public that Professor Hinks has been recruited by the NDC. We don't want that. We are asking the statistical services to come out, Ghana Statistical Services, to also come out to come and tell us what their measurement of current inflation is. Because Professor Hinks is telling us the current measure of inflation is 101% in Ghana. And we are waiting, patiently waiting on the Ghana Statistical Service. We also, and I'm in both video because I want to be very snap. All of us have seen a booing, booing of the presidential convoy in Kumasi. Eddie, your own backyard, your own backyard, you are being booed. And some people are saying it's a propaganda video because somebody has picked up the pictures and then they've added the boo voiceover into it. Others are also saying different things, whatever it is. Let's take the booing out. We've seen our president sitting in a radio studio who the people have spoken through. That journalist is a mon country and say ombe ye kwane ni ye tuma ne pa ni ye kwane de wa mama mbe ya on kan who say yen tuma no yen tuma ne party in the next coming election. No, Oka said that is fine. That is fine. The president is telling you that is fine. You don't threaten me with those things. He doesn't give a toss. That is fine. President, and he said, that is fine. You don't threaten me with those things. I'm Ghana for her. You had a mistake. The signs were there. The points were there. We just could not connect them. When the first 4 years, I could understand that part. After serving that first 4 years, we saw the sort of leader that we've appointed. We came here, we told you guys. Sometimes I sit here and I'm making videos to defend Ghanaians, and I think, why should I even be doing this? Because we told them, do you not vote this man for the second time? Don't give him the mandate. Just do not give him the mandate for the second time. Now, he's showing us his true colors. He's really exhibiting what makes him him. The selfishness. I don't care. Telling you, me myself me 8 a year, and I may be 7 me 8 a year. Enti me chidi for the mobeto amamo muntu momo and family. It's a selfish, the most selfish statement that I've never heard. I don't care. And at the same time, exhibiting the arrogance with the I don't care. Anyway, you move on. I get a quick hammer, me see a video be. Never me see a can once GRA, Ghana Revenue Authority. Mama me embo mo dianfa video no and come stream ni hu sisi a near hade because hame GRA Ghana Revenue Authority behave to say cowboys. They are behaving like cowboys. They are actually breaking the law to try and enforce a law or enforce collection of taxes in Ghana. Now, mommy had there. Mommy had there. Made the video way and draw.
Listen, a vexed
And draw Honorable Haruna Idrisu eka GRA asem we na me pese ye hwe video we ye hwe we wi a me ankasa meka GRA asem me ameti ye ya to me shop mu otema GRA for akoto me shop mu otema nti o de me ba yembo video ni ha de
Legal issue of whether the regulatory bodies, such as the Ghana Revenue Authority, is not acting in a manner which is extrajudicial. That even by their law, if there are offenses to your administrative processes and practices, must they come before you for authority to act, or they can walk as lawless regulators to be closing down shops? That is what he is invoking, not the question on the economy. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Honorable Chair. Yes. Regarding the issue that the honorable member has just raised, I believe that as an institution, there are rules and regulations that cover their actions. And sitting here, I'm not in the position to know because I'm not familiar with their rules as whether they exceeded their powers or authority. Thank you.
Yes, sure then.
Okay, Meyi Enwefio. It was a question raised during the vetting yesterday. Let me actually take that one off the stream quickly. So this question was also raised yesterday to Justice Barbara Akayenshi about Sana GRA for Enam Krumo Mututu Shop. Ghana Revenue Authority at the enforcement team at TSC Chrome and na Mututu Shop mo bar say what you are a beer with income tax and answer Otasa and Okase beer. I haven't filed and I'm in TIA because I haven't made profit to pay tax. Now, I'm to shop him. Whether they have evidence or not, you have to shop him. Even if you present them with your books, I'm say books in there, there be more or tab books, you know. So we're not gonna look at the books, no matter to shop him. The question I have is, does GRA have power to just go and close shops, businesses, without the proof say these businesses have not made profit? It could be they're breaking even. They even present to you with their books. Or say we don't want to have a look at the books. It's either we are going to process you to court, which I said to them this morning. The communication was last night I had was I'll buy the next plane ticket and fly straight to Ghana and go to court with GRA when they take my business to court. And I don't need even a solicitor in that court because it won't be me versus the judge. It will be me, the judge, and the GRA representative in the court. Then I can put my questions to them and showcase to them, say, how do you pay taxes when you haven't made profit? Income taxes, corporation taxes are paid based on the profit a business has made. You don't pay income tax and corporation tax based on revenue or based on, yes, you don't do that. You pay, somebody could be earning, or they could be, their businesses could be making a turnover of 100 million. But out of the turnover of the 100 million, if you look at their books, if their expenditure exceeds the turnover that is coming in a year, they're making losses. And if they're making losses, you don't expect them to then pay taxes on losses. How does that work? How does that work, GRE? You need to, first of all, sit down with the business owners, go through their books, look at their filings, look at what they've declared as income, look at what they've declared as losses for a year or two, or God knows how many years. And then, based on that, if they have not filed or they have not paid their corporation tax or income tax, then you have every right to lock those shops and shut those businesses. But you can't just walk there and lock businesses. Krobeni Ghana no turning into obiaya nyope. Even government body, agency, ye yomo, se monko, na monko monko je taxes no so, omuso yo nyomo pe. I just don't get it. Mentiasie. Unless I'm getting something wrong here at year 4. If I'm wrong, I'm getting something really messed up, please tell me. Good afternoon to you, Six. Please tell me. I'm so frustrated because as a business owner, in a year, I can make 100K turnover. If my 100K turnover and my expenditure, like paying off my rent for the shop, paying off business overheads, including staff and what have you, and even including myself, because I can't be a sleeping owner of the business. That doesn't mean I still don't get paid. I have to be paid. So uyi deductions when you know film. Now me share the overhead. Now me share say me expenditure exceed the turnover of the 100K. Now me make it profit. How do I pay the income tax that GRA is asking me to do? And Haruna raised a very good question. Mama share Haruna Idris video ni biem.
A vexed legal issue of whether the regulatory bodies such as Sohine is raising a vexed legal issue of whether the regulatory bodies such as the Ghana Revenue Authority is not acting in a manner which is extrajudicial. That even by their law, if there are offenses to your administrative processes and practices, must they come before you for authority to act, or they can walk as lawless regulators to be closing down shops? That is what he's invoking, not the question on the economy. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
GRA, Ghana Revenue Authority, is just walking about lawlessness or lawlessly shutting businesses, shutting down shops. I'm not speaking because I'm a business owner whose business is been closed down or shut down by GRA. No, not at all. Look, I can live here comfortably without running that business in Ghana. That business is being run in Ghana to help other people, to help employment. Our government me employ in Crawford. So even if the business breaks even and I don't make profit, I'm happy. At least every month that business is paying somebody for them to have money home to look after their family. The government doesn't understand, say, they have to create a condition that is really good for businesses to thrive, to be able to recruit the unemployed graduates. Omugu Ghana. No. And you know why GRA is acting this way? They acting like the boogeyman, going around shutting shops. It's because When people go hungry and people are out of jobs, there are no social services in Ghana that is going to give these people money so the people don't become burden to the government. But if all these people are burden to the government, they go back on government social allowances for government to pay for them, then they will have thought twice. It's absolutely out of order. Crazy. You go to them after shutting the shop. I've had a conversation and I've said to them, go back. They've summoned you to their office. Go to that office. Take all your books to the office. Show them your books. The books have been shown to them. And guess what? The reply from GRA. Mu books in it. Mudi sie de bia. Munya no credit bia. And you know, books now mo de any de yenhwemu kra. Ye be process mu to court. So how can you process me to court without not looking into my books? And what evidence are you going to give a court to say I'm a default or I'm in arrest of not paying income tax or I've defaulted not paying income tax? I don't know whether the laws in Ghana is different from the other laws in the world. And trust me, you might end up having a judge via. There's no evidence, but asam no bebu aguso. Hey, Krobeni. Ghana for mun sorry o na krowe dear minti be that GRA. And I'm happy that minority leader Haruna Idrisu have seen this problem of GRA acting like a macho man on the street, closing down businesses, closing down the very business that are employing people. I'm not saying that businesses should not pay tax. We are supposed to be held responsible to pay tax or contribute our quota so far as taxation is concerned. The question I have is, the taxes that we are meant to pay, when we have not actually made profit, how do we pay tax? And trust me, I'm counting the very days GRA shut my business, and I am going to take GRA to court. I will set the precedent. I will take them to court for loss of income. Every single day they shut that business. GRA, they will see something is coming their way. Something is really coming their way this time. Because you cannot just go and it doesn't work. And yes, say you show books or the car, and I want to make it profit this year or last 2 years. And I went to your taxes into your closing business. No. Please help me here. Is that how the Ghana laws work? Ghana Is that how the Ghana laws work? Let's listen to the Honorable again, because Osen Bisa question with Mentias here. Seriously, Mentias here.
Mr. Honorable Chair. Yes. Regarding the
Sohine is raising a vexed legal issue of whether the regulatory bodies, such as the Ghana Revenue Authority, is not acting in a manner which is extrajudicial. That even by their law, if there are offenses to your administrative processes and practices, must they come before you for authority to act, or they can walk as lawless regulators to be closing down shops? That is what he's invoking, not the question on the economy. Thank you, Chair.
thank you.
So this question was raised to the Justice, Madam Barbara, or Justice Barbara Akayensi, during the vetting yesterday. I have the same question. I don't understand why GRA is going about not interested in even looking into your books, but rather they will just close the shop. Even if she said to him, look, I've declared no income tax because I haven't made profit. They don't want to hear anything of that sort. They just lock the shop and then they go. Ghana no, mente Ghana here. Same people no so sorry we should come back home and help build Ghana. How do we build Ghana? How do we build Ghana? Look, in this part of the world, if I want to run a business, as soon as I register the business, first of all, they will give me every single information that I require to make me successful as a business owner. Then, based even on that information, they can even say to me, or I can apply for tax break for the first year, for the second year as a new business, which helps me to establish and find my feet in the business world. So you have every single help here, apart from government departments. To help businesses. No, as soon as you open a business account, the bank see as a responsibility. Say they have a department within the business account or almost eba and over trans normal how successful you will be, whether you will need any funds, whether you will need any training, near training near shape up. Now business net why? Because they are believers say when that business need jinan nice not just you but a community. And it takes pressure off a government. So they provide you every single tool to make you successful. Let's look at what is happening back home. You are asking us to come back home. Now, yembe investing, yembe ye business. Yaba. First of all, it's even a crazy idea to pick up a pound component or a dollar component to come and invest in Ghana to set up a business in a CD component. Look at inflation. Today, as I said earlier, Professor Hinks is measuring Ghanaian inflation at 101%. Professor Hinks is measuring Ghana inflation 101% as we speak. So if I pick up £10,000, for instance, to start a business back home in Ghana, in 1 year, if I don't make profit, even if I do make profit of 5% or take it 10%, and in 1 year, I will now get £11,000. I will now get profit of 10%. If that £10,000 a year back gave me 100,000 Ghana cedis, now I have 110,000 Ghana cedis. That's 110,000 Ghana cedis, no? Me sign at the basa me say I'm buying my pound component back. I won't have the £10,000. That is the point I want to make. I won't have my £10,000 back. Meanwhile, if I had invested that £10,000 or $10,000 back here in a year, oh, I'll definitely see increase. You would definitely see increase. So first of all, it's a sacrificial. This is what the authorities have to understand. It's sacrificial for those of us living in diaspora to come and set up a business in the first place. it's sacrificial for those of us living in diaspora to come and buy treasure bills in the first place in Ghana. But I always say, it's only unwise person who will pick up his pound or dollar component to go and buy treasure bills in Ghana. Because in a year 2, 3 that the treasure base no ebe mature no says sikana what the coin no or the GNA profit now you won't be able to get even your that initial capital you invested in poundage or in dollars back, trying to convert it back. You won't get it back. Into your koyanasi ye buy. So it's so sacrificial of anybody living in the diaspora to come and set up a business. They are doing it just to help the local economy and to help somebody. It's not because of the joy of it or because of the profit of it, but rather of the joy of it. Having the satisfaction that at least I'm contributing something in that country. So at the end of the day, if then the government body, GRA, who have been assigned to collect taxes, do not even look at your books, and they go about with padlocks and chains, locking up businesses, because to them, in a year, you have not made profit for you to pay the corporation tax or income tax, whatever they call it there. So for that reason, they're shutting down the shop. Ask yourself, what sort of country is this? And how many people, the government have to think wisely, how many people will this discourage not to even set a foot back there to even start something in that country? I don't get it. No, I don't understand it. Today, I've heard that the president or leaders of the government and or the administration and few other people have met at Peduase, probably considering tax-cutting measures within within the government. There are ministers and what have you. Let's wait and see what they bring up. Because to my information this morning, I picked up that Namibia have cut taxes. They have cut jobs, actually. They've cut jobs. They have laid off some of their government appointees and also reduced some of their salaries. And South Africa to yesterday did the same thing. Let's wait and see. They are happy to lock your business up, but they will not slash anything off it. That is the kind of country we have right now. Look, our advice, if you live here in the diaspora, just keep your money in your pocket, because it seems they're not creating the environment for us to go and help build the country and build the economy. They are not creating the environment. I don't want to have situations here that I'm dealing with it, and then have situations back home that I have to be making phone calls, and then I have to be pumping money to pay GRA when I haven't made profit. So that payment that you be what would that payment based on? The payment they asking. If you haven't made profit, what would that payment even based on? Paul Abu Hamza Minya, good afternoon to you, bro. I hope you well. We grew up together in Koforia. And then he said, Asem, bro. Hey, Asem. Hey, Asem. Let me read a few comments and then end it, because I'm going to rush out shortly. I will start from Fatima Answer. I say, good afternoon, everyone. Then Fatima Answer carries on and goes, Fatima. Then Mary Louise, Mary say, good afternoon, Fifi, watching you from Tootingbeck. Oh, thanks, Mary Louise, Tootingbeck. Oh, wow. Amazing. The last time you were watching me from Sloan Square and today to Timber. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for the love. Patrick Petra said, keep up the good job. Thank you, Patrick. And then All Faithful Sheila Amajo Adamson said, good morning, Uncle Faye. And then Hamidu Nunu, Bix Afifi Asante Empire. Thanks, Hamidu. And then Yakwe, he said, hello, Dad. Oh, thanks, Yakwe. I know I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether I tell you what, possibly Ebia me won't tell me Ebia. Yeah, I could have. So you're right. And then Faithful Sheila went on to say they show no seriousness. Why would the younger ones do? I know that was when we were talking about the vetting, how they were laughing, and it was all smiles. You are vetting people, and then you got all smiles, rather telling people about their CVs and how well they've done and what have you, talking to where they've met, instead of scrutinizing them, pushing them against the law, the wall, even judgments that you think that they've got it right, trying to pick up pieces that they've made mistake, and then questioning them. It was all smiles in that vetting room. I think the only person pushing them is our minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, and one other gentleman who is a lawyer in there. I forgot his name. Yes. And then Yakwe keeps on to go. Some of these judges are part of our problem. Absolutely, Yakwe. I can't disagree with you. Some of them are definitely part of our problems. And then he goes on to say, hey, like and share. Absolutely. Please do like and share. Keep sharing. And then all Faithful Sheila went on to say scrutinization is not in our dictionary. Sheila, this is the problem. And then cultural thing, isn't it? It's a cultural thing. We go back to the same culture. Culture na sign. It's a culture. No, I was in the same hall with you yesterday. Somebody it was actually today. One of the gentlemen from the committee was rather saying, he said, oh, I was on the same hall with you. And then the other said, we practice in the same day, and the movie, and then in my first appointment, I was then sent to his hometown. What's that got to do with the vetting? What's that got to be or two or say, hey, what's that got to do with the vetting? Vet the man and let's go. Scrutinize the man. Your problem, oh? So then my dear sister Marie Efwa Amwakwa Boadi, I say hello, Fifi. Hello, sis. Good afternoon to you and the family. Patrick Petra said, this is why I believe the government supposed to take control of all of these, and he does not give at them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even Patrick, if you grant government, you know, and it's a government and then I empower on my son, on my two because party here sika. The government needs money. Government ne wants to what you magukrum. Muni books so when TBM provide this say we tuanko amuntum. Namon threatening with court orders. And you know, because of our lack of experience and lack of knowledge, as soon as a Ghanaian or majority of Ghanaian businessmen here say, oh, we're taking you to court, then they panic. And then even if they're not supposed to pay, because they've had court. Why? Because to them, as it goes back to this vetting again, some of these justices have made the courtroom like Obunsam Gem. Instead of the courtroom being a place whereby the cases will be looked at in spite of your background, in spite of your ethnicity, in spite of your alignment with government, alignment with the institution, but these cases will be looked at its face value and then say, look, GRA, we think you are wrong in this manner. Don't do that. So GRA will keep using the court to threaten. A lot of them will go and dig money to go and pay for the things that they're not even supposed to pay for. absolutely shambles. Absolutely shambles. And see, ni no, and ne, ni aminya nyina enie. Me baba be done. There are a few things I could have spoken about, but unfortunately, have time. So I'm gonna go and leave this. My name is Kofi Asante Empire. Me patcho video no obi ambo modian share emami. Na ebi enkonko ka GRA for ninsa. If possible, so tag GRA direct for me, please, if you can. And also, when you come across this, please to video no because not everybody is actually free at this time of the day, especially in this part of the world. A lot of us are stuck at work, or a lot of people are stuck at work, so they will come back home in the evening and then watch the replay of the video. Please try and share it, and people will watch it thereafter. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thanks for joining me, and good afternoon to you. Bye now.